Fred, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I guess if you could start by indicating the drivers for the profits that you saw in this period.
Yeah, I think the major driver was the successful bedding down of the acquisition that we concluded late 2016. We bought the metal recycling group, Amalgamated Group, and that we've now had a full year, a full 12-month period under our ownership, and that was definitely a game changer for us.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, continue.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's talk about our forex volatility as a major headwind within this space, within the business, and how Insimbi is dealing with that.
We're fortunate in that we are internally hedged, particularly on the dollar side, not on the euro side. So we export to mainly China and India, and so we export more than we import. So we have that comfort zone of being internally hedged. That's not to say that we don't concern ourselves about, in particular, the dollar movement. Euro, we're a little bit more exposed because we don't have a major euro export market. The difficulty is really when there's sudden and dramatic volatility, as there was in December last year. And although we hedge, if you're not awake and there's a major movement, as there was around about the 15th to 18th of December, it did catch us unawares. So we've taken a much more conservative view about our hedging policy on the currency, and we hedge all of our exports and all of our imports.
Talk a little bit about the foundation of the business. I mean, this has been a tough environment to operate in. We've seen increased imports in terms, instead of raw material supplies. How has Insimbi been able to kind of navigate through that?
Well, we've been around for some 50-odd years prior to the IPO in 2008. So we've weathered many storms going back many decades. We've focused on diversification over the last decade. So we've got into plastics, we've got into downstream products, and we've got into a stronger platform of beneficiation. So where we used to be normal commodity traders, we're now beneficiators, and we beneficiate some of our, or quite a fair portion of our own non-ferrous metals. And beneficiation is where the profit is. That's where the margin is.
Were you going to say something? We keep interrupting each other. My apologies there, Fred. But I really want to get a sense from you. Another issue that we've had in the South African environment is power issues. And I just want to know how Insimbi has managed those issues when it comes to electricity provision for, the plastics and the steel business.
We don't rely too heavily on electricity for conversion. We rely on natural gas or heavy fuel oil. The plastics business relies more heavily on power than the rest of the operations. But we've installed a 340 kilowatt hour solar installation on the plastics business roof, which obviously on a day like today doesn't help us much, but it does help us through particularly the summer months. And every one of our operations has a monster generator that can run the operations, with the exception of the blow molding plant. The blow molding plant pulls too much power to put in a generator. So we have these generators that can operate all the equipment, all the computers, all the weigh bridges, etc. in the event of a power loss. And touch wood, this last 12 months hasn't been too bad with power outages.
And on that note, tell us about the company's outlook next 6 to 12 months. What are you hoping to achieve? What can investors look forward to?
We are just coming to the end of our first quarter. In fact, this week we ended our first quarter. The first quarter started off a bit lackluster. We were hit with all the public holidays. There was labor unrest. And unfortunately, the euphoria post Mr. Zuma's exit as president hasn't translated yet into anything that we're noticing that is tangible. But the platform of the business is good. What we are seeing is that there's increased demand out of China and India, and particularly China on the back of Mr. Trump's trade war with them, and we are seeing the benefits from that. So I'm optimistic. I'm quite optimistic. We're coming off a good base this year. It's 10 years in the listed space, and we've taken a while to get here, and we will not wait or let the grass grow under us going forward.